Today, we'll tackle negative reviews of our work and how we can leverage them to become better business builders. I was recently listening to the early episodes of my favorite Star Trek podcast, and the hosts talked about the unfairness of a particularly nasty Apple Podcast review. 1 star, paired with a snide comment about the show. One of the hosts was quite confused. Why would anyone who this show clearly isn't for leave a rating? And at first, ever the partisan Trekkie listener I am, I agreed. These early reviews matter so much. Why would anyone who didn't even like the show mess it up for them? But then I realized why we, as the owners of the products being reviewed like this, are so often frustrated. We're confusing our innate understanding of our own product with what we position it as in the marketplace. When people review a product online, they aren't necessarily reviewing the product itself, but rather how well the reality of using the product matches their perception of what we are experiencing. Imagine you write a novel that claims to be the next Jurassic Park, but doesn't have dinosaurs in it, although there's a T-Rex on the cover. Yeah, that's the kind of discrepancy that annoys people enough to go for the 1-star rating. This disconnect between expectation and reality leads to the tension in product reviews that we can see, which can be particularly challenging for founders or creators who own the product being reviewed. The further reality and hopeful positioning of the product are apart, the worse it gets. And the problem is that we, as founders, can be incredibly blind to this. We see a good review and think that the person gave 5 stars for the show's quality or the content, but that probably aren't the actual reasons they mustered the energy to review for. It's much more likely that they had a particular expectation for the show and then gave it 5 stars because it met that expectation, or 1 star if it didn't. Of course, this is highly confusing for us and makes us feel that the review doesn't accurately reflect the quality of our work. And I guess we're right, it doesn't, but it adequately depicts how much our marketing is hitting the mark, or altogether missing it. The reality is that people are more likely to leave a review when they have an extremely positive or negative reaction. They feel much more motivated to leave a review if they feel they have enjoyed the show immensely or if they feel they've been misled. And this is tough for creators who have put a lot of time and effort into creating something they believe is really good, but are not receiving positive reviews due to unrealistic expectations in their would-be listeners. But these are expectations that we as creators set for our listeners, our viewers, and our readers. And at some point in our journey, we usually discover that we have control over those expectations. And it truly boils down to the positioning of your product. Let's stick with podcasts here. If a show about entrepreneurship is marketed as a great beginner podcast for founders, but then covers advanced topics that are not even relevant for beginners, it can lead to confusion and disappointments among eager entrepreneur listeners. They may assume that they can learn everything they need to know about starting a business from the podcast, but instead, they find themselves wasting time with something that is clearly geared towards more experienced founders. They spend time on this. And none of this is novel or groundbreaking. Misleading advertising has always been a source of trouble, but this is an unintentional divergence between what a thing is and what it's seen as. And as founders, we have an incredible difficulty just looking at our own work from an outsider's perspective. The solution? Eat those reviews. Take them not as a sign of your failure to create, but failure to clearly communicate what you made. A review is feedback, and whether you like it or not, it's something to act on. It's tangible evidence that your work evoked something in a person who thought it would be for them. And on occasion, it was not for them. So when we reflect on the reviews that our products and services receive, we need to be aware of this tension between expectation and reality. Our customers see what they see, and they tell us what they feel. We must be mindful here just of how we position our products in the marketplace and then ensure that our messaging aligns with the experience that our customers will receive in the end. As founders, it's our responsibility to see our own products through the eyes of our customers. We can use good and bad reviews to our advantage here. They are valuable feedback that comes from a strong emotional reaction to our work. And feedback like this is really the best antidote to our ignorance. I personally give negative reviews 5 stars.